Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 283 on 4/20/22. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Yes, you are.
Jimmy Trammell.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And I guess Mike's off celebrating someplace.
That's good.
Yeah.
I sure hope he is.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
Absolutely. Everybody deserves a little celebration, I think.
Especially on 420.
Ah, yes. If it's that kind of celebration, you know. It's funny. Just recently I heard of another robbery at the local pot shop over here. So, yeah. It's like that was the news I heard last night. Oh, my God. This poor guy.
It's always 420 somewhere.
Yeah, I know. It's sad because they have to hold on to all that cash, and so it's a real problem for them. You know, the world should figure that out one way or another.
They should just call today 80.
80?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's 420s.
420s. Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
Or yeah,
a quad Benjamin.
Do something on 520 that
Hamilton.
Do something on 520 that it involves $100.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That should. Yeah, the 520, the 100, everything's $100.
I'm gonna fill up my gas tank on 520 because it's gonna cost me $100.
What kind of car do you drive that needs 40 gallons of gas?
No, it's not 40. Yeah, it's my truck has like a 30-gallon tank.
Ah, sorry, I'm used to.
Mine costs like $70-something.
Dude,
this weekend.
Yeah, it cost me at least $40 right now, or almost $50 right now, just to fill up my little Hyundai.
Yeah, that's me. I'm about a $50 tank right now.
I saw a sticker at the gas station that made me laugh, and we'll talk about it in the post show.
Oh, okay. They're one of those. Huh?
I laughed really hard.
Well, you're just gonna have to come to the post show to find out what he's talking about, because we have nothing to do but talk about that here today. Let's hit news. HBO Max is talking. They are talking about their launch. They had a nice little article with a protocol where they were discussing the history of them launching HBO Max and how basically they screwed up. They were weren't ready to go. Essentially, their system had not been built up to be ready for the large audience of people that they were expecting to get. And they launched it early because they were realizing they were going to get competition from other launching services, especially Disney Plus, which was launching shortly after them. And so they are now admitting that, yeah, they weren't ready. They had a lot of things that were broken. There were a lot of things that they didn't have right in the back end and on the players themselves, and like for the various platforms. Famously, they had a version of the Apple player that was just horrible. Then they switched to the basic Apple player, which fixed that problem temporarily. Now they're back on their own player by now, but there was a time where they were just, everything was broken on it. And I want to say this: good job, HBO Max. You know why I want to say that? It's because they have basically, even though they've had to deal with all these problems, even though they had all these growing pains, even though they launched with a mediocre movie in Wonder Man 84, they otherwise hit it out of the park. Everybody loves their content. Yes, they had issues and people were having issues with it, but for the most part, it was working. People could watch what they wanted to watch. And now they're a big player in the game. They were able to take whatever they needed to get done and get it done to a point where there's really nobody complaining about, for the most part, the HBO Max experience.
Part of that is because there hasn't been a lot of finger pointing on their end. It's been, hey, we know we had a problem and we're working to fix it. It was acknowledged. There was no, you're holding it wrong. It's no, it's that person over there. Their platform is broken.
Right.
It's just, yep, fixed. Except there was finger pointing in the whole, they want to charge us too much and we're not on their platform, but that was different. That was a battle.
Yeah.
And
it is refreshing to hear, a company that big to say, yeah, we had problems, we worked on it, got it fixed, admitting to that, right? And just going in there and fixing it. I mean, that's,
in the end, who really cares? As long as it works, it's all that anybody cares about.
Well, it could have, on the flip side of that coin, it could have gone horribly. They could have had, yes, it was their fault, but they were not able to get it up and running. Or yes, it was their fault and they released it and it was truly horrible, not just mostly, kind of broken. They did happen to have what they need working out of the gate.
Yeah.
And also, I know from experience, having something under the gun, man, this isn't working. We need to fix this. That's quite a motivator for some people to get things done. So I'm glad it all worked out for them. Good kudos to them for making it work. And if you're interested in more of the story behind it, I recommend finding this article from Protocol, where they have a nice long discussion about all the various back end and front end things that they had to do to get things working. So. All right.
Okay.
I think, I wonder if we're going to see other big companies streaming. Didn't we talk last week about FIFA going streaming with their thing last week?
It was a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
How well is that going to work for them? I mean, I suspect they won't have HBO Max numbers, but
I don't think they're developing their own app. They're probably going to somebody that does this stuff, and then they're putting a FIFA skin on it.
Probably not a bad idea.
I mean, it would be like us. Well, we're gonna put out our own streaming platform. No, we'll just do a page on like Twitch or YouTube. It makes more sense.
Hey, we could totally do it. Absolutely, it's not a problem.
I mean, we could, but do you want to spend that money?
Actually, I could do it for free. My problem is the bandwidth. If more than like 6 people wanted to watch at the same time,
exactly.
I don't. My 20 megs up wouldn't be enough, or 40 megs up would be a problem. Oh well. Okay. Here we are, guys. From Mac Rumors have a story about the Apple TV app and how it's been redesigned to use tvOS 15's video player. Looks like that the Netflix app was using their own video player for a while. That was built that they were, kind of the same thing with the HBO Max guys, where they were running on their own. But the native to tvOS 15 native player apparently is a lot better for obviously for that platform. It's got a lot of features that you are integrated into the system, so Netflix can take advantage of some of those new features. There's a couple changes to the interface, like there's no swipe down interface if you're on your iPhone. A couple of the other things have changed on it too, but this should be a much more smooth service for people who are using Netflix on their iOS and tvOS devices.
All right.
Does it say when this one's rolling out?
It's currently. It began appearing on TV or Apple TVs earlier this week.
Okay.
So if you got 2.1.23 version of the app, you have the native player built in now. So
yeah, but is this too little too late? Because I mean, Netflix lost like 200,000 subscribers recently.
Well, we have that story later on. But
okay.
Is that really? Well, it's related to that. But is that really a lot to Netflix? Now, I understand it is a loss. That's news,
it's. I think in the time frame, if it was 200,000 over a year, would be churn. 200,000 in like a month or two. That's pretty. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Alexa, listen to radio stations. I sure hope I didn't turn any of your devices.
Mike's not here, so you can't trigger it.
Oh, okay. Fine. The Amazon Assistant devices now support TuneIn Premium. TuneIn is the app that has a lot of different radio stations on it, and TuneIn Premium provides you with a way of doing that and getting access to a bunch of different content. Like you can listen to a lot of different radio stations that do your sports stuff using that now. I know because I've tried to listen to my sports radio and I had to get premium to listen to sports. I really don't like that they're doing that, but whatever. And also, if there's lots of stations that now provide you the ability to listen to their stations essentially ad free, they like fill in the ad space with more music inside the TuneIn Premium platform. So this is now available if you are using the Amazon Echo devices. You can use that to access the TuneIn Premium platform. It's $10 a month.
So have you used TuneIn at all?
The free version I have.
Okay.
I wanted to listen to a game because I couldn't watch it.
That's right.
And so I tried to see, okay, let me see if I can listen to my local radio station because I'd at least want to listen to what's going on while I was working on something or something like that. And it's darn it, the big games, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL games, all those games are available only for TuneIn Premium users. Otherwise, it's a way for you to listen to your radio stations, over the internet.
Yeah, I've never used. I don't think I've ever used TuneIn. I've tried the iHeartRadio that all the radio stations are touting, and it was terrible. And you couldn't listen to anything without paying. And I was just like, nope. I'm not paying for free radio.
Believe it or not, if it's an iHeartRadio station, it's because it's actually owned by iHeartRadio.
Yeah, I understand that.
Which is ridiculous.
Well, it's formerly Clear Channel. Like all of the Clear Channel stations are now. I'm not saying that iHeartRadio is Clear Channel. I just noticed that all of the Clear Channel radios stations that I was familiar with are now iHeartRadio stations. So,
interesting.
There's got to be some sort of correlation in the causation, but who knows?
Well, what's odd is that whenever I would listen to something in TuneIn or Tune, I love the fact that it sounded better than if I was listening to my radio, because radios, they have static and things like that, especially you're moving around, and I wouldn't have that with streaming service. So digital radio, man, it's the future. Man, radio, it's the future, man. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, radio over the internet.
All right, now
radio.
What we've been talking a lot about the various baseballs coming to the different platforms, and we have a third one coming up. That's 15 games that'll be available. I swear we talked about this last week. Is this a repeat of what we said last week?
No, well, not this one. I was complaining that it's becoming too hard to figure out where to watch.
Well, one was on YouTube TV, and these are on YouTube, just regular YouTube. That's the difference. Well, the good news is these are going to be absolutely free. No requirement for you to have any kind of subscription. You just open up YouTube and watch the games. These 15 games will be available for you to watch for free. They will not be on any other system, which is Major League Baseball. Really, you could have put it on multiple things. I'm certain Apple would have been happy to also have it streamed on their system, and people have to subscribe to get on.
Well, I guarantee nobody's going to be watching it on Wednesday, June 15th.
Yeah, probably not. That's when my Mariners play. So they're playing the Twins, the Twinkies.
The Twinkies, indeed.
And they're doing it in Seattle. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll actually be at the game. You never know.
Hey.
We have a story here about Microsoft and their Xbox system. And what they're doing is they are investigating the idea and working on the APIs in order to sell advertisements into their video games. Well, so the idea is this: there's an awful lot of free-to-play games out there. Those free-to-play games, they make money through things like you buying costumes or dance moves or whatever that they sell online that make it so they make money off those digital assets. But there's a lot of unused ad space in those virtual worlds. They could totally put up a sign that says "Buy your Coca-Cola, enjoy Coke." And so, could you imagine the game every time you play it, you have a different sign with a different ad going on the background? That's right, it's possible in the future. What?
Okay. Depending on the scenario, if this is like something like Stadia where you get to play games for free that you should otherwise buy, yes, I completely accept the fact that there could be ads in that space, because those ads would be there in lieu of me paying for the service. If they're just putting it into games that are otherwise free on a service that you're not getting for, as a special, then that's not cool. Yeah, I don't know. It really depends on the scenario, so I don't really know how I feel at this point. But that being said, I don't have an Xbox, and I'm not going to experience this. So, it's not like, this gives Sony the perfect opportunity to take the high road and completely steal all their customers.
Totally makes sense. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, so we're talking about just like on like billboards within the game, not actually pausing the game for like some random commercial.
Whether it be paused or a bumper on the bottom of the thing during a loading screen, or it be a virtual billboard in a VR game, all of those are possibilities at this point. They're totally testing waters, figuring out what it would take for them to do. Of course, Microsoft wishes they were everybody else. They wish they were Google, just like they wish they were Apple. They wish they were an ad company. They wish they owned all the hardware and software.
They wish they were a baller. They wish they were a little bit taller.
If they had a girl, they would call her.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I have no problem with ads if it's one of the in ads in video games. They already happen.
Yeah.
I have no problem with ads in video games, but I would have a huge problem if I was playing some ancient, historical game or some fantasy game, and then an ad popped up in the world to buy the next Samsung phone.
You're playing Galaga, and all of a sudden a Krispy Kreme flies across the screen.
I like Krispy Kreme, so I'd be okay with that.
But do they belong in Galaga?
I wonder if they would sell ads to Sony and let Sony advertise their PlayStation and the Microsoft.
Sony won't ever do that. No, they won't. What are you talking about? Oh, they're thinking the same thing. Oh. Ads are coming to Sony. Actually, they are actually in the plan of making it happen. They are working on a plan to put inside their own games. They are planning to do some. They're doing the same developer program right now to see if it can happen. They're liking the idea to putting it into a lot of the free games to get ads built into them. Is this Minority Report yet? Are we there yet?
Minority Report is
in the movie Minority Report, he would walk down and they would be able to flash the fact that he was looking at the billboard, and then they would personalize the billboard to him as he was looking at it.
As long
not
as
the Minority Report, as in the red ball came out.
Gotcha. Okay, so that possibly, it's the point where we get to the Futurama reality, where they're beaming it directly into your dreams and into your head. From episode 1. That's when I'm done. I'm done with this world. I will go away forever.
Yeah, the penetrating Wi-Fi.
I have no desire to be penetrated.
Come
I don't
on,
know how to
Glenn.
respond to that, sir.
You shouldn't.
Okay.
Keep an open mind, Glenn.
Yeah, let the ads flow in. Oh, well, at least Nintendo hasn't done it yet. So I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, but Nintendo would fill it with ads for other Nintendo stuff.
What are you talking about? Nintendo will update their animes though. Did you know Nintendo had animes? It's
Yeah.
technically what they're called. When Nintendo, since I don't even think that they,
Because by
they do it
today's
themselves.
standards, they're not games.
No. Apparently, they have done a restoration project on a episode of the old '80s cartoon, and they have scaled it up to 4K. It's the great mission to rescue Princess Peach, upgraded to 4K, and apparently it is available for you to watch on YouTube. And I have not watched it. I have no idea, but it already looks horrifying. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, it's a cartoon,
It's from the 80s.
but it was made in Japan.
It was?
I mean,
This is
it's Nintendo.
See, that's the thing. A lot of the Nintendo cartoons were not made in Japan.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'd say it probably falls under, just anime by design because it's a Japanese company. It's their product, and it's a cartoon. And they were marketing it to their market, so it would be anime. We would call it a cartoon.
Yeah, I'm okay with up-resing. I like the idea of taking old stuff and making it high res is fine, especially since if your brain makes what actually was horrible in your head canon better. If you have gone back to really good old video and you look at it and go, we used to watch this crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to have things updated to where like
well, the difference was as screen sizes get bigger, bad picture becomes badder,
worse, right?
Whereas when you were watching on like a 13-inch black and white screen, it was super clear because it was so small. Throw that on an 80-inch 4K and you go, ooh, no. So cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it later. I don't know. I remember watching those old ones when I was and thinking to myself, this is really horrible.
The Super Mario or the Mario Super Show.
Yes.
Hosted by Captain Lou Albano.
Yes.
Or Alzado.
And
how do you say his name? Captain Lou Albano. Captain Lou Albano.
I don't know. All I know is that I remember watching it going, oh man, these are horrible. And then my son picked it up as he was growing up and loved it. He just watched
I liked it. The one in like 89, 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I always waited every week. I would watch every week for the Legend of Zelda one because they would do that on Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
But it was only on Fridays.
Link speaks. And everybody's like, oh, God.
Well, I didn't play the game, so it was perfectly fine by me.
I think they made Link a silent protagonist because of that cartoon. Because he's so annoying. Netflix. This is the story we were talking about. Netflix is talking about the fact that they have lost 200,000 subscribers for the first quarter of 2022. This is news because they have been going up and up and up and up and up for years now. And because they went down, they actually have taken a gigantic hit in the stock market. But that's not the story here. Netflix is not saying that it's the fault of the pandemic for this. That's just one piece of the story. They're talking about all the various things that kind of led up to the fact that they're at this point. Everything from they've had, basically they've saturated almost every market. They've had people doing their account sharing. They've had having people not either have access to or literally being cut off access to due to political issues, like in the Russia thing.
Sorry, you live in the wrong part of the world. You're not allowed to have our service.
I know. And just in general, there's a lot of competition out there. And also, there's a bit of a culture with this war going on about what Netflix shows are, turning into as well, being discussed in this article.
And we've talked about this over the years, that this is coming. I mean, they've been at a plateau for a long time, and they've had almost full network or market saturation. And they've had to get creative about ways to increase, because they're a publicly traded company. Therefore, they have to show improvement year over year. Just holding isn't good enough. And so they had to find ways to increase their profits by further price gouging, forcing people off so that they are basically generating new users. And then, they pulled out of Russia, which means that they lost 500,000 potential customers, and then, but ultimately lost 700,000 altogether. Stuff like that hurts. So,
yeah. Also, if you know anything about the company of Netflix and how they run their business, they are a super efficient company, but not efficient in a way of like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, let's do these things smart kind of thing. They are a hardcore, we need you to do this job, and we need you to do it well and fast, and we will burn through you as an employee until you can quit whenever you're ready to quit. We're going to be making sure that we get the most out of you for them, as far as being efficient with their website and everything like that. They are hard on their employees, so they've been successful. That's basically been the reason why they've been able to do everything that they've been able to do up to this point. Now this is the point where we're going to see whether Netflix can they turn, can they safely make the turn and become either a company that's going to be an okay long-term long tail company with lots of millions of dollars still flowing in, and is that okay? And can they make their various people who own them and their stocks, are they going to figure out a way of making them happy? Or is this going to be the beginning of the end, and we're going to see Netflix turn into that place where they one time were watching that one show and all that stuff, maybe worst case scenario, all of it gets sold and bought up by somebody else?
Yeah, I don't think there's a reality where Netflix ever goes away completely.
Right.
I just don't believe that they will maintain market dominance forever. Yeah. I have no problem. I have no issue imagining a future where Netflix is always there. It's just, look at other services that used to be the coolest thing, and they were for years, and then they're still around. But I mean, look at Facebook. Facebook was the hottest thing that they were ruling everything, but now it's a place where grandmas share pictures of their grandkids. It's still there. It's not going anywhere. They're trying to be relevant.
Yeah. So you're saying similarly, we're going to see a similar thing eventually happen to Facebook, and they're going to start losing, and that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, they have been losing big time. Then that's my case. My case in point.
Well, I mean, we've talked about Netflix before. I mean, they're the one that cranks out a lot of volume of shows.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily the highest quality. And that's not to say they've never made a quality show.
Yeah.
They have, but in general, they do volume over quality, right?
Yeah.
And maybe they keep raising prices too. I think that's something to do with it, right?
At some point, I think my prediction is they're gonna scale back on their production and start focusing more on return on investment. Rather than quantity.
But however, I did see, I think I was reading an article about it earlier today. I think, if I remember right, I think it was like 14 billion is what they plan on spending on content in the next year, something like that.
Yep.
Well, for years and years and years, they always had that one hit. Last hit they had was Squid Game, which came out of nowhere. Obviously 4 or 5 years ago, they had that hit out of nowhere from Stranger Things, and they've had some since as well, where these things that, Bridgerton and whatever the next big thing that everybody has to watch comes out. And that's basically, they've been able to keep on going and keep on producing something that's a hit again and again and again and again. And they've been doing that because they have been producing so much, and shotgun method works. Eventually you hit something. And so they're obviously, with the $14 billion investment, they're thinking the same thing. They're going to, again, try to come out with it and see if they can hit the next big thing. And so they can get a lot more subscribers to want to come in and watch the thing. Since the Squid Game, there hasn't been a big hit, other than maybe the Adam Project. But I don't think the Adam Project basically got a lot of people in seats or subscriptions. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and to your point, yes, the shotgun method does work, but eventually ammo becomes too expensive. So you got to carefully time your shots.
Sometimes you shoot so much that there's not much left to shoot at.
And there's that. Yeah. So, yeah, I think they're going to scale back at some point. They built their library. There's going to be a point where they just won't be able to harvest new users, and they're just going to have to make do with what they have. And yeah, that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. It's okay. It's okay.
I've wanted to unsubscribe from Netflix for a couple of years now.
But they keep sucking you back in.
No, it's not me. It's other people.
They keep sucking your family back in that you have to account for.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
For me, it's the T-Mobile thing, right? Yeah.
They keep paying for it for you.
See, that's the only reason I have HBO Max, is because my
That's
phone
not the
company.
only reason. You actually like it.
No. I wouldn't pay $15 for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the only reason I have it is because I get it free through my carrier. There's no way I'd be paying $15 a month
same for me.
for
I
that.
got AT&T for my internet service.
Yep.
All right. We have one last story here this week. Delta says it was working with SpaceX. The idea was they were going to see if they can get Starlink satellite service working on their planes while they were flying through the air. That's right. That they were working in order to see if they could get actually halfway decent internet speeds, because if you ever tried internet on an airplane, you know it actually kind of sucks, to work on the airplane. And those ping times must be really low, because they're even closer to the satellites. I don't know if they've gotten anywhere with it or if they're going to move forward with it, but this is a cool idea. And I bet you anything, they'll charge you $10 for access to it on flight. So they'll make their money back in no short term.
So how much is Starlink a month right now?
100.
It's like 120.
20, I think so, a month.
So divide that by 3, and that's what Delta's going to charge you to use it during each flight.
So $40 a flight.
Yep.
Why do you say that much?
That's just based on my experience with Delta.
Per person.
They're based out of Minneapolis. So
200 people on the airplane.
Yeah.
So that's 6.
I'm sure they'll make hundreds of dollars.
They'll make more than that
from each row.
Exactly.
On the plane. Yeah. No, when they said they were going to team up with Starlink, I was imagining a Starlink satellite tethered to the back of the plane, just like by a rope or something. I mean, which is obviously not, but that's where my brain went initially.
Well, and see, my brain went to an Elon Musk tractor beam from the Starlink satellite. But anyway, but yeah, I don't think that nobody's going to pay $40 for.
No, it's not going to be $40, but it will very well could be 20. I mean, because it's already
for a 2-hour flight.
People pay it already.
I know. For a longer flight, I would be happy to pay $10 for good internet. It's not good internet.
If it was a long flight, yeah. But if it's just a 2,
I consider 2 hours probably enough if I wanted to get something done or do something. $10 for 2 hours of good internet, I'd be considerate. If it was a longer flight, absolutely.
I would pay them $10 if my chair would recline enough that I could take a nap.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You from here to here, that's the entire change. It's like, this is a joke, right?
I mean, I would download a podcast and listen to it for 2 hours for free.
Oh, I do that too. Oh yeah. Except for every once in a while, I try to do something like, oh, I'm going to pre-download this game and put it on my thing, or I'm going to pre-download this video and put it on my thing. At which point I get on the airplane and it says, we must verify your subscription. Please connect to the internet. It's like, you jerks. You're going to make me pay
$10 just so you do the authentication so you can play the
you know
game. You downloaded before you get on the plane.
When I pull out my other tablet that has a whole bunch of stuff ripped onto an SD card that I just put on and go, I'm just going to watch something from here. I'll be fine.
That you sound like you're speaking from experience.
Yes. It's very annoying. And
Alrighty.
that is the week's news, everybody.
Yep, and this is the point in the show where we talk about the people that are not very annoying. The people that support our show every month via patreon.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you said
VOD
support
Squad.
the show, I thought you were talking they were holding us up physically.
Well, they technically are. They are physically holding us up with their dollars.
Oh, is that what I'm sitting on?
Yeah,
Comfy?
I know. It could be even more comfy if we get a couple more people.
Oh, stuff those cushions, everybody.
Yeah,
Go to
absolutely.
patreon.com.
As little as $1 a month helps keep this show happening. Yeah, I'm doing the math in my head. It works. It works.
It does. Oh,
Yeah, it does. So, patreon.com/thebot squad. We appreciate you. And we're glad that you appreciate us. Should we get on to some rants and raves? Rant, rave. Who's got what?
I've got two things. My rant is Picard season 2.
I hear
Every
it's
episode-
kind of been on its own path.
So every episode takes a left turn. And after enough left turns, you've turned yourself
crash.
around a couple times. And so it's fine. I'm the kind of person that I'm okay. I'm not. I know there's an episode that happened this week. I haven't watched it yet. Because we wait until Thursday to watch it for other reasons. But every episode, it's like, okay, we're doing something completely different now. So I'm fine. I'm still invested. I'm still want to watch and see how it ends. I know it's not a long season, so we only have cut like 3 more episodes left, and then we're done with the season. So that's fine. I do long for the old days of like the Next Generation or the original series, where it was a kind of a Planet of the Week kind of thing, and where it feels like you're actually doing that kind of thing. And this, unfortunately, Star Trek has kind of gone away from that. Hopefully, Brave New World, or whatever the name of the Strange New Worlds, will go back to that. We're hoping it becomes more classic Trek. I will be interested to see that. I'm still very much excited about Lower Decks. I've not seen the trailer for season 3 yet, but I know it would just make me giddy if I did. So I'm just waiting for that anyways. So yeah, I just wanted to say Picard, I'll be fine. I think it's better than season 1, quite frankly, because season 1 did some other really wacky things I wasn't so into. But yeah, it keeps turning left when I don't expect it. Keeps turning hard left every time, every episode, something new. All right. The other thing is, last week we went around to town. We were picking up something on the other side of town, and on our way back, we noticed a sign for a garage sale. And I was like, "Oh, when you want to go check it out?" We checked it out, and sitting there was a day one Xbox One. Not the Xbox One S or Xbox One S, but it's Xbox One for $100, including controller. and everything on it. So I picked that up, and then I gave it to my son for an Easter present. So we've been playing a lot of games on that. I picked up Ori and the Blind Forest. We picked up. I already had a copy of the what's that? There was a pirate game that's recently come out. That's a bit
the
fun.
Seas one.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves. That's the
Sea
one.
of Thieves. Yeah.
I played literally just the very first intro island of
That's an MMO, right?
It's like massively. You go on a mission together and you work with your team to do the mission together.
I thought it was just like an open world MMO kind of thing.
I don't think so, but I
Okay.
do know that there's people who are like going out on missions, and on your mission together, you're doing your thing. So you have to be the guy who buckets the water out if you got a leak and things like that to try to do the mission. There's jobs to do and there's things you got to do and islands to explore and cool things like that. And other cool things. And so that has been the fun thing we've been playing with pretty much all this week. I'm hoping to get it set up here so I can record it and maybe play with it a little bit. Other than that, I'm still playing PlanetSide 2. I'm still playing that game. I'm stuck and hooked to having too much fun blowing up stuff. Just
Okay.
telling you, it's got a lot of fun.
Cool.
That's
Jimmy?
Yeah. So speaking of HBO Max, my dad, I think his favorite TV show of all time was Band of Brothers, and unfortunately, when he was still living, I never got a chance to watch it with him. And so over the weekend, I was looking out onto HBO Max to find something to watch when I wasn't doing taxes, and came across Band of Brothers, and I said, you know what, I'm going to watch. This was Dad's favorite show. I'm going to sit down and watch it. So I sat down and I think Saturday, Sunday, and I think I finished it up on Monday.
Wow, that's a lot.
All 10 episodes there. And
It was a lot of taxes.
No, the Band of Brothers. But Texas was a long time too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is, if you've never watched, and I don't know, maybe everybody has seen this already, right? It's been out for quite a long time. But if you haven't watched this one, I recommend it. It's not for kids,
No.
Matt. But
No.
but it's a well
Is it
done show.
more for kids than Spartacus? Matt knows what I'm talking about.
Which Spartacus are you talking
The
about?
TV show.
Oh,
It was just
probably-
basically naked dudes walking around for an
It's
hour.
more for kids than Spartacus, trust me.
yeah, it's probably better than Spartacus. But,
Oh yeah, there's blood. There's swear words. There's people dying. That's Band of Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And oh yes, and also there's people shot in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. But yeah, really, really good one. And that it really gives some insight into how that was, and what I like about it too. And for those that don't know, Band of Brothers is a World War II story, and they did interviews of some of the guys that were there, doing the fighting and all. So yeah, if you haven't seen this one, recommend it. Also too, when I was watching this, I saw something else advertised on HBO Max. The Batman is now playing on HBO Max. So I think maybe this upcoming weekend, I may be watching that one this weekend.
So I just want to say, Band of Brothers is one of my father's favorite shows. That's how I watched it. Watched it with him like a decade ago. I recently visited my dad, and he said, well, yeah, Band of Brothers is great. But if you watch Band of Brothers and you liked it, next thing you have to watch is The Pacific, which is the other side.
I thought he was going to recommend The Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might like The Batman.
Oddly enough, me and my dad did watch The Pacific.
Oh, you did? Saw that one first.
Yeah, we saw that one, yes.
Okay.
Right. But
Okay.
But the Band of Brothers, we just never got a chance to watch it.
I have not seen The Pacific. but I probably will eventually.
I was still a traveling consultant back in those days, so just never got a chance to really sit down and watch it alone.
So in regards to the Batman, I got a hot take from my daughter.
Oh yeah, what's the hot take?
She told me the other day. She said, "Oh, I went and saw the Batman," and I said, "Oh yeah, what do you think about it?" She goes, "Well, it was a movie."
That's as low as a hot take I've ever heard.
She goes, "It was a movie." She's like, "I don't know." I was like,
Wow.
I said, "What did you think of the vampire as a Batman?" And she's like, I guess he was okay.
Wait a second, are we talking about Morbius or the Batman?
No, the Batman.
Because you said the vampire as a
He
Batman.
was a sparkly vampire. Which was my next question. Did he sparkle? Yeah, because he was in that Twilight.
Yeah, I know.
Saying that, well, it was a movie, that really sounds like a chip off.
I know.
Yeah, I've got a title for you guys.
Yeah. That being said, I don't know if anybody else has heard of this show, but I have been watching season 3 of Atlanta.
That's the one that went on a hiatus for years.
Between every season is like multiple years.
Interesting.
But I mean, it's kind of like his side passion kind of thing. He does it when he feels like doing it. And it's not really, there's not really anything that is like on a timetable.
Is there an overarching story he's telling?
Kind of. It's just the life of a person.
Okay.
So it can pick up and drop off anywhere. Season 3, I mean, I've never been a huge, the show's been okay. But this show has moments of brilliance. The overall story doesn't speak to me for various reasons. But like I said, every episode has like one thing that just is like perfection. Like there was an episode where two characters were sitting around and they were discussing the fact that capitalism is evil. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, whatever, blah, blah, you're going to do this. And they're discussing capitalism is evil. And they think, and they were like discussing, and they say, well, what would you consider to be the biggest representation of capitalism? And he said, well, I think anywhere that you can go and buy a can of Coke is a symbol of capitalism. It's like, oh, okay. And then he goes, well, like Taco Bell?
You can't buy Coke there.
No, actually, they sell Pepsi. So Pepsi's good. Coke is evil. Yes.
What?
and then we went through the logic, and I went, yeah, that makes sense.
No, it does not.
I mean, Coke is the ultimate symbol of capitalism. And they're saying that capitalism is evil. So if that is the, Statue of Liberty of products, then yeah, Coke's evil.
So does it make me evil if I own stock in them?
No. When Atlanta falls into the sea, though, all the chemicals leaching out of the Coca-Cola plant are going to turn everybody into mutant mermaids.
I believe it was Winston Churchill who said, or at least paraphrase him saying, capitalism is the worst economic system, except for all the others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yep. But all right, on that note, let me just say thank you to everybody that is checking this out in one form or another, whether it's after the fact on YouTube, after the fact via podcast, or somehow you're joining us live, and you're awesome. But yeah, we do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on the YouTube. And you should come hang out with us. You get the pre-show, the post-show. You never know what you're going to get. You get to submit titles and vote on said titles. So that being said, we are going to head on over to the post-show. And thanks, everybody. We will catch you all next week.
Good night.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.